Ba-la-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. I'm sorry. Hi everyone, it's me. And today, do you know McDonald's? Oh no, I meant McDonaldland. Do you know that?
That's by the year, but okay. By the way,
I'm sorry.
one McDonald's hamburger, please.
The year is 1971, and that'll be 28 cents, kid.
What an unusual thing for you to do to specify the year, but okay. By the way, what are those?
Okay, history.
Why would you fill this family restaurant with these creepy monsters?
Creepy? What are you talking about? It's 1971. That's what kids like you are into these days, apparently.
Yeah.
Hey kid, you alright?
Sorry, I gotta go make a YouTube video.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Wow, that's awkward. Note that this video came out in the year 2021, right now it's the year 2022, so this video came out last year. 1971 is wonderful. Thank you.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Food Theory.
Hello Internet, welcome to Food Theory! Hi! Thank you so much. This 1971 is literally more than half a century ago, so let's be understanding about it. Thank you so much.
Our ice cream machine is almost never broken, and for that reason, you should probably buy some Food Theory merch. These are actually your final few days to pick up these items, so don't be distracted by my stellar modeling theorists. The merch line is what you gotta be focusing on right now. I absolutely love how this ramen t-shirt came out. And if you're in the mood to be flamin' hot this summer, why don't you sport that on your clothing with some flamin' hot theory shirt action. Speaking of it being a flamin' hot summer, are you staying hydrated? Well, grab yourself some Food Theory reusable cups to beat the heat, complete with the little curly bendy straw. And you know we've got ourselves that Food Theory apron for your summertime barbecue needs. Links for all of it and more are down in the description below, so be sure to check out the all-new Food Theory merch line if you haven't already. Only available for the next 48 hours or so.
Unfortunately, this video came out in the year 2021, right now it's in the year 2022. 1 year have passed. I'm sorry.
Now then, theorists, in a previous episode we discussed the incredible origins and expansion of the McDonald's Corporation, masterminded by the legendary businessman Ray Kroc throughout the 50s and 60s. I said in that episode, and I'll say it again here, if you haven't seen the movie The Founder yet, do yourself a favor, put it on the watch list. Seriously, it is fascinating. But today I'd actually like to pick up
very unique and interesting
where our previous episode and The Founder both leave off, because as fascinating as McDonald's origin story may be, it's hardly the most interesting era of McDonald's history. For my money, that would be the 70s and 80s, when McDonald's went all in on marketing to children and firmly established themselves as the go-to fast food chain worldwide as a result. How exactly did McDonald's go about hooking Gen X on their products so effectively, you ask? Illegal stuff. And the moral of today's story, friends, crime sometimes does pay. And it all begins with just one word: McDonaldland.
Welcome, Eric, to McDonaldland.
Dad, you all again?
Of course it's me, and all your other friends, too. Come on in and look around.
Okay, so if you're a bit confused by what you just witnessed, don't worry, you're not alone. If you're a millennial of a certain age like yours truly, you probably remember bits and pieces of the McDonaldland era the way that you remember bits and pieces of a creepy dream.
Yeah, a case in point, I recognize that McPat was born after the era, and for me, I kind of remember bits and pieces, but I don't remember much about it. I'm sorry.
Fiberglass character statue of Ronald McDonald and his friends, the burger stools that were basically too slippery to sit on, the playgrounds where kids got to pretend that they were in jail for some reason.
Why?
These were the McDonaldland parks, the predecessors of the Play Place ball pits and the Nintendo 64 kiosks that we all know and love today. And they were wildly successful at getting families to eat at McDonald's until they basically got sued out of existence, and not for the reasons that you might expect. See, when Ray Kroc began franchising McDonald's restaurants in the mid-50s, one of the first things he did was write a letter to Walt Disney. The two men actually knew each other from when they served together in the same World War I ambulance corps.
Wow, World War I, that is literally centuries. I can say centuries ago. Wow.
Small world, right? At this point, Walt had just opened up Disneyland, and already the theme park was connecting with American families in a way that was undeniable. Kroc's letter expressed his desire to put McDonald's franchises inside Disneyland, but ultimately the two businessmen were unable to make the deal happen. Kroc, who wasn't exactly the type to take rejection lying down, started thinking about opening his own McDonald's theme park in LA. Ultimately, though, he settled for smaller McDonaldland parks at numerous numerous franchises across the country, and the McDonaldland cast of characters, starring the definitely not creepy clown Ronald McDonald, were brought to life shortly thereafter in Saturday morning TV commercials.
Ronald's gonna take you on a trip through McDonaldland. There's thick shake volcanoes, you'll even find a French fry patch.
Ronald's friends in Gen 1 McDonaldland included the Professor, a mad scientist type whose shtick was thinking up inventions like the perfect burger, only to be reminded that McDonald's already has that.
A hamburger.
It worked. It worked. Well, almost.
There was also Mayor McCheese and police officer Big Mac.
Study harder and have a cheeseburger.
Though it becomes quickly apparent that McDonaldland is in more of a Gotham City ineffectual legal system situation where those two don't really do a whole lot, and everyone just relies on the local clown to mete out his vigilante justice against the villains.
And case in point, it's quite cringy to watch right now in the year 2022. Yep. Note that the target audience back then could be your grandparents.
So when you think about it, actually the exact opposite of Gotham City.
The burger alarm!
And let me tell you, there were a lot of villains. There was the Hamburglar, who naturally was a thief who stole hamburgers. There was also Captain Crook, a pirate who also steals food, but pretty much focused all his efforts on the Filet-O-Fish sandwich. And last, but certainly not least, there was the evil Grimace. Yeah, for the first year of the McDonaldland campaign, the Grimace was a huge purple blob monster with forearms that he used to snatch up milkshakes and soda like a fast food Jabba the Hutt.
Where's the Coke? Where are the shakes?
Now, on one hand,
Oh my
McDonaldland
gosh.
and Disneyland aren't even close to each other. Like,
Oh my gosh, the reference is so old. I feel old that I can actually recognize this kind of references. Wow, I am old, man. I feel so old.
one is a world-class tourist destination spawned from one of the greatest entertainment minds of the century. The other is trying to sell you grilled pink goo in 30-second increments. I don't mean to be negative towards McDonaldland or anything, but it kind of has to be said. The characters are just downright creepy, and I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with me when I say that they don't achieve that same Disney magic.
Don't forget to feed the wastebaskets, because they're hungry too.
That's right, we are. And we'd like to ask a favor of you. Would you mind letting us have the paper, please, when you're through?
But for as fun as it is to rag on the McDonaldland production values and general weirdness, simple fact of the matter is that McDonaldland really worked. The 70s and 80s, McDonaldland's heyday, were boom decades for McDonald's. The corporation navigated the 1970s recession with ease, growing at an average rate of 15%. With its new recession-proof image, the McDonald's Corporation would go on to join the prestigious Dow Jones Industrial Average. The McDonaldland characters were used to launch the Happy Meal in 1979. Today, Happy Meals rake in $3 billion in revenue annually.
Wow, the more you know, I guess, the more you know. So it was a cringy but successful results, I guess, in terms of ka-ching.
Is $8.2 million per day on Happy Meals alone. And on top of boosting food sales, the McDonaldland characters brought in untold amounts of revenue decade after decade in the forms of toys, merchandise, straight to VHS series. In short, McDonaldland was everywhere. For American kids in the 70s and 80s, it was about as ubiquitous as a marketing campaign can possibly be. And you want to know the craziest thing about it? The entire McDonaldland campaign was built on stolen intellectual property. See, creepiness and low production values aside, it's pretty plain to see how a lot of McDonaldland's inspiration was, let's say, borrowed from Disneyland. Both are immersive magical worlds where costumed characters interact with children, and both feature themed attractions, though of course not all attractions are created equally. A hamburger-themed swing set does not a Space Mountain make. Heck, even the names are similar. I mean, come on, McDonaldland? Like, did McDonald's even consider a second name, or did they just immediately rubber stamp the first thing that popped into Ray Kroc's head? The only thing that would make the ripoff even more direct was if this place was called Crocland. Actually, Crocland would be pretty cool. And this whole practice of borrowing ideas, let's just say McDonald's is no stranger to the practice. If nothing else, Ray Kroc was a man who knew great business ideas when he saw them. He recognized the McDonald Brothers speedy service system as a great idea. He recognized Harry Sonneborn's model of leasing company-owned real estate to franchisees as a great idea. And he obviously recognized the brilliance of Disneyland. But it doesn't stop there. The inspirations get even more intense. The Ronald McDonald character was rather liberally borrowed in affect and style from another baby boomer kid culture phenomenon, Bozo the Clown. A TV series that syndicated its live clown show concept to different regions by having local TV employees wear identical makeup. And yes, this is what The Simpsons' Krusty the Clown was a direct satire of. One of those local TV guys was future national TV news icon Willard Scott, who McDonald's hired to recreate his version of the routine as the first ever Ronald McDonald, after some trial and error with the costume, of course.
Mom told me never to talk to strangers.
Well, your mother's right as always, but I'm Ronald McDonald. Give me a McDonald's shake.
And if McDonald's had just stopped there, if they had merely borrowed McDonaldland concepts from Disney and Bozo the Clown, yeah, probably wouldn't be a lawsuit. There's a connection, certainly, but not a direct ripoff. But McDonaldland clearly crossed into copyright infringement territory when it came to HR Puffinstuff, a 1969 television series, lol, about a young boy.
Come on, man, come on. Be more mature, be more wholesome, family friendly. Thank you so much. 69, seriously. But in case in point, you must recognize 1969 is literally more than half a century ago, because right now it's the year 2022. So let's do the mathematics. 70, 80s, 90s. Yeah, true.
Boy who visits a magical island where everything is alive and ruled over by a friendly dragon that acts as the mayor. Yeah, I don't know what's harder to believe here, the fact that that thing's a mayor or that thing's a dragon.
Or what if these are supposed to be target audience for your possible grandparents? Wow, this was weird times.
Show, created by Sid and Marty Krofft, featured their signature blend of live-action actors, puppets, and light special effects. Why do those talking trees suddenly look so familiar? 17 episodes of HR Puffinstuff hit the airwaves in 1969, but the show was so popular that those same 17 episodes remained on TV via reruns and syndication until 1985. Decades later, Puffinstuff was named one of TV Guide's top cult shows ever.
Decades.
McDonald's' ad agency at the time, Needham, Harper, and Steers, thought that this was exactly the vibe and audience that they were looking for with McDonaldland. So they went to the Crofts with a proposal of, hey, would you like to do the Puffinstuff thing again, but like this time everything is themed around hamburgers? And well, yes, some progress was made. The Crofts eventually got a call that the agency was going to go in a completely different direction, which was a complete lie because the McDonaldland campaign hit TV just a few months later, and things looked a bit similar to Puffinstuff.
Not with this magic potion I'm brewing. It's guaranteed to protect you from the witch's spells, and it's just about ready.
Oh, my psychedelic electric hamburger machine will make the best hamburger in the world. Cool.
Possible reason for the similarities? McDonald's ad agency straight up hired many of the same voice actors and production crew who'd worked on Puffinstuff to perform more or less the same functions.
Stand right side up.
I am right side up. You're upside down.
They're upside down. No, Grimace, you are.
The most egregious was Mayor McCheese. He looked like Puffinstuff, had the same job and uniform as Puffinstuff. Even his voice actor was doing the same voice as Dr. Blinky the Owl from Puffinstuff.
You ought to know by now that all owls say who.
What'll we do? Oh my, this is awful.
To add insult to injury, McDonaldland even got a lucrative licensing deal with the Ice Capades, which, if you're not familiar, was a touring show where kids could see their favorite characters doing what they do best, triple axels on ice skates. This was a big deal because up until that point, the Crofts had always gotten the Ice Capades deal for themselves. This was too much for even a couple of mild-mannered puppeteers to take, and the Crofts did what had to be done. They sued McDonald's ad agency.
What? Hamburger, what do you have to say for yourself?
A likely story.
He's guilty.
Yep, in 1971, Puffinstuff dragged Ronald and the gang straight into a federal copyright lawsuit, which, as these things are wont to do, dragged on for years behind the scenes of what was otherwise one of the most successful ad campaigns in history. An ad campaign that for a time was the template by which all other fast food marketing was judged. Ronald and his kid friends were skipping through the hamburger patches doing G-rated battle with silly pirates. Literally at the same moment, they were also fighting for their very survival in appellate court. And guess what? They lost. The court granted McDonald's a grace period to transform McDonaldland into something less infringing, and so Big Mac, Mayor McCheese, and the Professor all got the boot, while the human-ish characters like Hamburglar and Captain got softened up and made more mascot-like. It also meant that the concept of McDonaldland itself, a magical place that pretty closely resembles the world of HR Puffinstuff, had to go too, which is why Ronald started started kicking around in real-world locations surrounded by new non-copyright infringing friends, stuff that is probably a lot more familiar to all us 90s kids. In the end, the courts forced the company to pay fees totaling, get this,
$1 million.
Alright, it was $1,044,000 to be precise.
But you must recognize, to $1 billion company, it's small money, you know. It's just small money.
Adjusted for inflation, those $1,044,1977 would be worth $4.5 million today dollars, which again isn't even close to the company's Happy Meal sales on a given day. So yeah, it seems the HR
It's like half a day's worth of Happy Meals.
Our Puff and Stuff lawsuit taught McDonald's a valuable lesson, and the lesson was crime definitely pays. For an entire generation of Americans, McDonaldland is inextricably linked to the McDonald's brand, a brand that today is valued over $88 billion. Ronald McDonald, who himself was kind of a sketchy copy, may have lost some of his explicit rip-off friends as a result of the court's decision, but who needs friends when you're McRich? He's been laughing all the way to the McBank ever since. But hey, that's just the perfect opportunity for me to congratulate the sponsor of today's episode, Fetch, on their savvy approach to advertising food theory end cards. Fetch Rewards is a free, easy-to-use app where you earn rewards on literally anything you buy. All you have to do is scan any receipt or e-receipt, and Fetch gives you points that can be redeemed for hundreds of rewards, including Amazon and Visa gift cards. I'm gonna show you how it works. Here's a Target receipt for a kitchen scale that we bought for an upcoming food theory experiment episode. With Fetch, all we do is snap a picture of the receipt and bam! Seconds later, we've got points, which, if I'm being honest, we'll probably put back to a Target gift card. I go there a lot. Plus, I feel like I kinda owe it to them because I desecrated the store earlier this year with that bread glove fashion shoot. And Fetch works with all sorts of receipts from all sorts of places. We're talking restaurants, online purchases. They don't even have to be from massive companies like Target or Amazon. Fetch works with your favorite mom and pop places. Even the Theoryware merch store, where we recently launched a whole slew of food theory merch. Yeah, all those receipts from purchasing amazing aprons and pizza plushies can go directly to your Fetch account and get you that much closer to getting the gift cards that you are most interested in receiving. So this is a limited time offer for all you theorists out there. Download the app now and use the code FOODTHEORY to get 3,000 points when you scan your first receipt. There's a link down in the description below. Be sure to check it out, and thank you again to Fetch. We appreciate their sponsorship. We appreciate them helping you get money back on all the purchases that you're already making, and most importantly of all, we appreciate you for watching and always remembering that it's just a theory. A food theory. Bon appetit.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you find this video very interesting. To watch. Quite unique and special that there's such a dark history involved. But anyways, I hope that you learned something new and maybe for the betterment of the future. Thank you so much. If you do like this video, please show me to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and comment down below if you have any share of us. Don't forget to follow my channel. I hope to see you all in my next video. But hey, that's just a theory, a food theory. Bon appetit. Thank you. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Subscribe.